global news update on top Accolade News. From politics and the global economy to the front lines of conflict and the world of sports and culture, tonight's headlines show why the world never stopped testing the limits of leadership, law, and ambition. The headlines. Former New Zealand Prime Minister Jim Bolger dies at 90. China defends rare earth policies against US pressure. French socialists push for wealth tax to target billionaires. US government shutdown slows economy. First up, a farewell to a trailblazer in politics. Former New Zealand Prime Minister Jim Bolger has died at the age of 90, leaving a legacy defined by pioneering Maori treaty settlement and harsh economic reforms. Serving from 1990 to 1997, Bolger oversaw the 1991 budget that slashed welfare and health spending, deregulated labor markets, and later introduced the mixed member proportional electoral system.
We have to listen more carefully to those who are left on the margins.
Tributes highlight his principled leadership, commitment to historical justice, and effort to modernize reconciliation with Maori communities. As New Zealand reflects on his life, it is clear that a leader's toughest choices can leave the deepest mark, both painful and transformative. From New Zealand's political history to a modern trade clash with global consequences, Chinese state media issued a 7-point rebuttal on October 16 to the US, calls to roll back Beijing rare earth export restriction, asserting the measures as standard international practice and claiming Washington overstated national security concerns. The move follows US warning of triple-digit tariffs and accusations that China's control constitutes a global supply chain power grab. Both sides blame each other for escalating tensions.
This is China versus the world. China is a command and control economy, and we and our allies will neither be commanded nor controlled.
With China pointing to the US expansion of its entity list and Washington highlighting China's critical mineral policies. As rhetoric intensifies, the dispute underscores that in global trade wars, the loudest headlines often signal the deepest fractures. Speaking of economic tensions, they are boiling over in the global arena. France's Socialist Party is pressing to introduce a Zuckman tax on fortunes above 100 million euros, aiming to raise up to 20 billion euros annually as Parliament debates the 2026 budget. The proposal comes as Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu survives no confidence votes and after suspending pension reforms, giving the socialist leverage to push new taxes on the ultra-wealthy. While economists warn the tax could prompt capital flight, party leaders insist it is necessary to protect public services and reduce inequality. As France navigates its fiscal and political turmoil, it's a reminder that the richest often escape the taxman, while the rest shoulder the burden. Across the Atlantic, political deadlock is hitting the economy where it hurts the most. US Secretary Scott Bessent warned that the 2-week US government shutdown is costing the economy about $15 billion a day, urging Democrats to be heroes and join Republicans to end it. He said the shutdown is stifling an investment boom fueled by Trump's policies and predicted the deficit to GDP ratio could soon drop to 3%. But as Washington battles itself, America's growth engine idles, proving that political paralysis is the costliest shutdown of all. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. We turn to a human drama unfolding in Southeast Asia, where the pursuit of opportunity has turned perilous for hundreds of South Koreans in Cambodia. South Korea has issued its highest level travel warning, a code black, for parts of Cambodia following a surge in employment scams and violent detention targeting its nationals. About 60 South Koreans remain in custody, while 80 men are unaccounted for, with victims reporting torture and abuse in scam compounds run by organized networks. Seoul had dispatched a high-level delegation to coordinate repatriation, but returnees may face legal scrutiny depending on involvement. The crisis exposes a sprawling criminal industry ensnaring roughly 1,000 South Koreans, highlighting that a promise of opportunity can sometimes lead straight into a nightmare. Turning to the Middle East, tension flare over fragile truces. Israel has threatened to resume military operations in Gaza after Hamas said it could not return all deceased Israeli hostages without specialized recovery equipment following the handover of 9 bodies so far. The dispute over remains alongside limited humanitarian access through the Rafah crossing, risks destabilizing the fragile ceasefire brokered by US President Donald Trump, which also involved the release of 20 living hostages and nearly 2,000 Palestinian detainees. Aid agencies warn that thousands of trucks are needed to prevent famine, while Israel maintains the next phase requires Hamas disarmament. In a conflict where lives and dignity hang in the balance, even a fragile ceasefire can fracture over the smallest human remains. From high-stakes diplomacy to the digital spotlight, British social media influencer Big John Fisher, known for his fast food reviews and viral catchphrase Bosh, was detained by Australian border officials in Perth for 4 hours and deported back to the UK due to visa issues. Fisher, who arrived for appearances in Perth and Sydney, followed followers on Instagram that his visa was technically valid, but authorities disapproved of his activities in the country. Despite the setback coinciding with his birthday, Fisher remained upbeat, expressing love for Australia and eagerness to return home. In a digital age where fame cuts across borders, even internet celebrities can be reminded that virality doesn't override immigration law. And finally, sports offer a glimpse of global ambition. India is on track to be officially confirmed as the host of the centenary 2030 Commonwealth Games, pending ratification by the Commonwealth Games General on 26 November. The executive board favored India over Nigeria, citing its ambitious bid, while the decision strengthens India's broader ambition to stage the 2036 Olympics. The announcement comes amid scrutiny over past organizational issues, including India's troubled 2010 Commonwealth Games, ongoing doping concerns, and overwhelming sporting infrastructure outside cricket. Successfully delivering the Games would not only celebrate 100 years of Commonwealth history, but could serve as a test bed for India's vision of global sporting prominence, proving that the nation can stage world-class events while confronting its historic sporting missteps. Tonight, from bold policy choices to the human cost of conflict, from economic battles to dreams on the sporting stage, the world reminds us that leadership, courage, and accountability are never optional, because in a fast-changing world, it's the decision we make today that define tomorrow. For Top Accolade News, I'm Ojoarumi Okocha. Do have a wonderful day and keep watching the global news updates on Top Accolade News.